you stay tuners. Welcome to a new NFL season. Excuse me, I have a frog in my throat there. New NFL season, league year. So I guess it would be a year. Kicking off with free agency this past week. Now, as you've seen with the title there, I'm not going to go all into the free agent signings and things of that, because we're going to wait for our good buddy King either some point this week, tomorrow or maybe Friday or Saturday, something like that. I just got to get with him to get our schedules back on track there. But I figured I'd come on, talk about, the Eagles free agency so far. A lot of the Eagles fans are panicking like usual. We lost Darius Slay, which, when you have Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell playing how they played last year, and then also you have Eli Ricks as basically your third cornerback, your nickel corner. Slay was expendable. I mean, he was still all right. I don't think he played as good last year as the past few years, but he still had a good year. The one big trade that I was surprised about was Gardner Johnson being traded to the Texans, and he brought that that attitude back to the Eagles defense that seemed like it was missing since he left and went to Detroit. Now he got traded to the Texans. We got I believe he was a guard back, plus I think we swapped late round picks. And I'll get to that about the Eagles with Howie Roseman and the draft picks too. But I'm kind of torn with the Gardner Johnson thing, because, like I said, he brought attitude to the defense. He was a good player, but now it's time for Sidney Brown to step up and stay healthy, and show that he could be a starter. And that's why we drafted him in the third round, I believe 2 years ago. Last year he came back after tearing his ACL in 2023, I believe it was. He was showing signs, and he's a hard hitter. He's a hard hitter. So we'll see, if this was the right move to move on from Gardner Johnson. Now, I did see a Philadelphia report say that this was a money reason. Basically, all these players that were letting leave, Howie's just saving cap space, because Jalen Carter is going to be up for a new contract, I believe, next year. Then you got Jordan Davis. Actually, Jordan Davis is this year. We have a decision if we want to pick up his fifth-year option. Me personally, I think he should. I think he's getting ragged on a lot about his conditioning, and I thought he played a lot better this year. I thought he was in better shape this year, and there was some rumors that maybe we might not pick up the fifth-year option, which I don't think is a good idea. He's played well enough, I believe, that he should have his fifth-year option picked up and, go from there. But, again, we have a lot of younger players, Reed Blankenship, a lot of younger players that we've drafted over these past few years that Howie's got to figure out how to, keep that core group together. The one player that we did lose that I kind of figured we would is Kenny Gainwell. He ended up going to the Steelers. 1 year, I think it was a 1 year deal. And I'll tell you what, Steelers got a good running back. When you look at him, you think he's just like strictly a receiving running back, but he runs hard. And that actually showed against the Steelers this past season. He actually had a better game than Saquon Barkley. So that was a good pickup for the Steelers. Darius Slay, it's not a bad pickup, but it's not the greatest pickup of ever. Steelers are starting to look good. We traded Kenny Pickett away. Thank God. I mean, you guys know how I felt about Kenny Pickett this past season. I really thought Tanner McKee should have been starting when Jalen Hurts was hurt those couple weeks. But now that sets up for Tanner McKee to be competing for the number 2 spot next season behind Jalen Hurts. Some other Eagles stuff. Trying to think of some other things. Oh yeah, so the draft picks. I knew there was something else I wanted to bring up. So with the Gardner Johnson trade, I believe it was Adam Schefter. It was either Adam Schefter or Ian Rappaport that was talking about it. In the next 2 drafts, this draft and next year's draft, we have a total of 20 draft picks. Any given team, if they had no trades, no comp picks or whatever, they usually only have about 7 to 12 picks. We have in 2 years or whatever it would be, we have 20, and out of those 20, this is the big thing for us, for the Eagles. We have like 11 draft picks in the first 4 rounds. That's where you find your starters. That's where you find your cheap players, that your diamond in the roughs type players. Like if Sidney Brown pans out, he'll be one. He was a 3rd rounder. Reed Blankenship was a mid-round guy. And if you look at how he's drafted the past couple of years, he's nailed almost every draft. We let Milton Williams go to the Patriots, and right behind him is a kid that we drafted in, I believe, the 6th round, Ojo, who had a good rookie season as a backup. I mean, he didn't, he wasn't no Aaron Donald or anything like that, but and then the only other player, me and King talked about it last week. We re-signed Zach Bond. The only other player that's out there right now is Mekhi Becton, and not sure how true this is, but he did. Someone said that he was willing to take basically a hometown discount. Just wants to be paid for helping the team to get to the Super Bowl, what he's earned, and I think you have to do that. We have to sign him. And this kid that we picked up from the Texans in the Gardner Johnson trade screams Becton again. He was a early round draft pick for the Texans, never panned out. Put him with Jeff Statler, and we saw you saw what happened with Becton, and Becton is naturally a tackle too. So Lane Johnson only has 1 or 2 more years left to play. Maybe Becton could be the heir apparent. He's already playing alongside of him. Bump him out as long as this guy that from the Texans we picked up pans out, and we just keep chugging with the one of the best, if not the best, offensive lines out there. And so, a lot of the Eagles fans I see on Twitter or Facebook kind of freaking out because we're not signing anybody, we're not bringing anybody in. Really think about, other than Saquon, we don't really go big. We wait till the free agency, like day 1, day 2 kind of dies down, and then we go for the day 3, day 4 signings where they're cheap and they're decent. I mean, again, look at Zach Bond. I think his last contract with the Saints was $3.5 million. Now he's top 5 paid linebacker in the league. So Howie, that's the other part of Howie's game, that he's good at picking out low cost free agents, like you know, low cost, high reward, or however you want to say it. But I'm not too worried about the Eagles just yet. Like I said, I got my Zach Bond signing, hoping for Mekhi Becton. We're still waiting for, as far as other NFL news, we're still waiting for Aaron Rodgers to make his announcement. And speaking of him, I'm not going to go into the Aaron Rodgers just yet because, like I said, I want to get with King, do a show with him, with us talking all the free agency moves. But Adam Schefter basically trying to push Aaron Rodgers into a decision is stupid. Like, then you wonder why he does not like you, why he lost your phone number and blocked your phone number. Like, if he's earned the right to make the decision when he's ready. Now, if the Steelers and the Giants want to stick around the whole offseason waiting for his answer, that's up to them as well. But like LeBron James, when he made the decision, why not? As soon as he said it, hey, I'm gonna hit free agency. Why not that date? Why didn't the other beat writers start ragging on him about, oh, come on, make the decision? No, you had to do a whole thing about it. So let Aaron Rodgers do it. I don't think. I think now the Giants would be the better fit for him because I can't remember if I said it last week on the show, but if Devontae Adams, who's going to the Rams, obviously, if Adams ended up going to the Giants with Rodgers, I think that would have been a lot bigger headache than what it was worth. If Rodgers goes to the Steelers, I'm worried that it's already going to be a headache between Pickens and Metcalf when it comes to who's getting the looks, who's getting the ball more. And then if you add an Aaron Rodgers there, who really doesn't want to be a babysitter no more, and you can't blame him. I mean, he's been in the league for how many years now? I don't think that would be a good fit for him there. Now, on paper, they would definitely be a playoff contender, maybe a championship contender, depending on how that defense plays. Again, they're upgrading that defense, but adding Gainwell to that team will help that running game as far as the receiving part of it and the running part of it. But I am curious to see where Rodgers goes if he does. I mean, he's still contemplating maybe he just retires. You never know. But so I think that's gonna be just a quick little show here. Like I said, I talked to Eagles stuff. Brandon Graham, still no word on him. But if I was him, you got 2 Super Bowl wins. You got in the first Super Bowl win, you got one of the most iconic stops against Tom Brady to seal the deal for us, type things. You got nothing else to show for us, buddy. Like, retire, enjoy your time with the family. Go on radio talk shows. Maybe be a third host with the Kelsey brothers. I could see Travis and Brandon Graham trash talking. Some of the best trash talkers out there. But yeah, so till next time, I'm your good friend Jimbo, signing out.